Hello.
Hello, Sunday again.
I know.
It's come around quick. It always seems to come around quick.
It always does. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Actually, to me, it seems 2 seconds since it was Friday, and then we're now to Sunday, kind of the end of the weekend, even though it's a bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, it's a long weekend this weekend. Yeah, it has come around really quick. Yeah, it always seems to. It's like, oh, we're here again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has come around quick.
But apart from that, how you been?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Just sort of plodding along as we do. Yeah, there's not much more. I've got the alien from the Dalek here. So
Yeah,
I think that was one everyone was going a bit nuts for, and I've been able to grab him. So, but yeah, apart from that, it's just been a standard week really. It's not been not much going on.
I noticed you picked up 2 aliens, two Daleks.
I did, yes, I did. Yeah, one to keep out and one to put inside him. So I have got another one as well, but I'm not the only one. A lot of people picked up 2. A lot of people.
I would have been the same. If it was down my thing, I would have probably done the same. I would have try and get hold of 2 instead of Yeah,
you want 2 of them. You want one out. There's loads of people with ideas and what they want to do with it. So I thought,
looks a little bit freaky to me though.
Well, they were a mutant. So basically, with Daleks, it was like a genetics war. So it was like nuclear bombs, and then they were sort of grafted and built and mutated. So this is sort of like what they look like.
Yeah. Well, there is absolutely no news this week.
No.
Nothing is happening. Nothing has turned up on the websites.
No.
It's been
we're waiting.
Quiet.
Yeah, we're waiting for 2 to drop. Well, we know that the Michael Schumacher Ferrari should drop soon. We've seen pictures of that, and the Lynch King as well, because Fan Home have tested it coming out. So I would imagine that's going to be soon, as they've been teasing it, I should say. But yeah, apart from that, nothing sort of come out at all. It's been very quiet.
It makes me wonder what they're doing behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll have a few bits to come out. We've got some builds coming to the end now. So Optimus Prime, as we'll talk about before coming on. So we've got 2 packs left of that, and then that's finished. There's only 4 issues left of the Tumbler as well. So in another 3 weeks' time, that will be finished. So there is quite a few sort of finishing up now.
The only one for me that's finishing this time would be Titanic at the end of the year, and the Optimus Prime in a couple of months.
Yeah, there's a few finishing this year for me. So the Skyline should finish. The Batmobile 66, that should finish as well. RoboCop. I'm wearing the hat, so I should know. That's also finishing as well this year. And I think that's about it. I think the only ones that are going to be like continue will be the Snoopy build that we're doing, and obviously the Dalek as well. Yeah, but there's a lot finishing. So the end. I would say I would love the Enterprise to finish this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. So that'll be next year as well now. Yeah.
What can you do? Delays.
Yep, it's just the way it is at the minute.
I did notice though that some people have been getting emails over in the US.
Yes.
Over the price hikes.
Yes, the tariffs. Yeah, it's only going to affect the people in the US, so we're safe. But yeah, I don't really know how much. It doesn't really say. So it'd be interesting what happens on that. It only affects, I think, the Partwork stuff, because I think there is a book collection out, the Batman graphic novel collection that we're doing here on the Nexus as well. Books are exempt, I do believe, from tariffs.
Right.
So they're one that will pay anything on. But yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's only risen by a couple of dollars. I don't think it's been a massive price hike. And I know Fan Home did say that they were absorbing a lot of the cost of it.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yeah, I would imagine, like you're saying, that the issue price will probably go up like they normally do, maybe $1 or $2 each issue. But yeah, like I said, they're absorbing most of it. The tariffs have gone down, but they're still there. They've not been suspended or cut. They've, I mean, I should say they've been cut. They've not been stripped back or gone down to previous levels. They've just been slightly gone down. I think they're 30% now.
Yeah.
And yeah, we know about IXO because they suspended deliveries to the US. There's been no mention for Hachette yet or Agora models.
No.
So it'd be interesting on what happens there. And I think Fan Home are the only ones really that have said they're actually increasing the price. So
well, it'll be Fan Home and D'Agostini.
Yes, yeah.
We all know they're under the same
roof. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I suppose it's a bit of a bummer if you just signed up for a model at a price, or you signed up for in a sale, and then you get an email saying, "Nah, it's going up."
Yeah, it's just the way. Yeah, like they have said as well, if the tariffs come down, which is looking less likely, but if it does, they will reflect that and reduce it back to normal levels, which is really good. Yeah. Because a lot of companies, I feel, that will increase their prices because of the tariffs. Now, if the tariffs goes down, I've got a funny feeling a lot of companies will keep it at the higher rate.
Yeah.
But Fan Home have said that they, if anything happens, they will bring the price down. So,
well, you've got to look at when we start getting charged extra for postal costs.
Yes.
And then they switched over to another firm, and that we never got the reduction back.
No.
So they kept that, so we were still paying for the shipping costs. So yeah. It's not great, but
it's not. No, but it's probably a sign of the world that we're living in at the moment. It's a bit.
I think I'm going to move to France. They seem to get all the Partworks early, and they're a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and they're all out in the news agents. You can do them every week.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. It'd be nice to live down on the south coast where you can just hop on a ferry over to France every week, pick up your issues, and come back.
Do you know, it'd probably be cheaper than it that way as well.
Yeah. Just do that. And then you get access to an absolute ton of different Partworks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the magazines might be in French, but, you
can follow the instructions. They're, it's mainly only pictures. I mean, you can almost tell what they're saying. So
yeah, but let's move to France, and then everything will be cheaper, and just hop on a ferry for the day and go, right, I'm just going to go and nip over and get my Partworks. It's a full day job, but it's better than waiting for them to come in the post.
When I was doing the Alien and RoboCop from there, they came pretty quick. After I think I mentioned it before. I think 3 days is the shortest day. Is the shortest I've waited from buying it to receiving it was 3 days, and I think the longest I ever waited was like 8 days.
Yeah,
it's very, very quick. I have to admit that it's very quick when you order stuff from them.
But it isn't when it's a bank holiday weekend.
No, everything shuts down over at bank holidays and over there.
Even though most banks are shut down anyway, and they're all online.
Yeah.
Go figure. Right, well, I'll go through the chat then, because, like I said, it's been very quiet news-wise, apart from the email over the tariffs.
Yes.
So, okay, so at 6:23, yes, this is yesterday, I've got D. Harris with a good evening, Mark and Kev, another week gone. Then at 19 minutes past 7 last night, we had Steve 131 with evening all. So good evening, Stephen. Good evening, Steve.
Evening.
And then this morning we have Flip Dip who says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, another week, another new build. Only 2 issues into John Wick and already mistakes by Fanhome. Interesting, Mr. Bond. I didn't know there was mistakes.
No, I haven't seen anyone mention any mistakes, though. I haven't really seen any videos. I think Wayne's the only one who's building it, and I haven't really seen him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not aware of any.
I haven't mentioned anything. No one's mentioned anything.
Okay, and then I think this is part of a message, but I next have D going, and a good evening chat on Kev's side. So,
D.
Good evening, D. Next in, we've got Andy Carroll, who says, good evening, Mark and Kev. Hope your week was okay. Hello to all in chat.
Hi, Andy.
He says, Mark, a little tip, the pointy bits on Vader's neck brace, put them in before you mount the piece as they are a bit pointy. I use tweezers and the back of a nail file to push home. I actually did that issue and I didn't find it any problem. So, but they are a bit pointy.
Yeah.
And they are die-cast metal as well. So, but yeah, I had a nice build of that. Everything went to plan for once. So, evening, Andy. Then we've got Spider Sprue says, hello, Mark, on your side. And Hop, hello, Kev, on your side. So, good evening, Spider Sprue.
Hello, Spider Sprue.
And then next in, we've got David Phillips, who says, evening, all. Good evening, David. Welcome.
Evening, David.
And then we've got Dave Mac Bills, who says, good evening, Mark and Kev. Have a great stream tonight. Good evening, Dave Mac. And thank you.
Mac. Yeah.
Flip Dip says, is it me or the older you get, the quicker the days, weeks, years go by?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do. You notice it more when you've got kids because of them growing up. You definitely notice like the years coming around a lot quicker. Obviously before having children. But since having the kids, the years come around really quick.
I think as you get older, you plan your things a bit better. When you're younger, you're a bit more spontaneous. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I think as you get older, you're planning things more. So it kind of, it just goes quicker.
Yeah. When you were older, you sort of like just, shall we go to the pub tonight? Which one? We'll just go out and see where we end up, sort of thing. Yeah.
Me and Julie, we lived around the corner from a nightclub, and it'd be like 10:30. Fancy going nightclub? Yeah, let's go. Now that'd take a week to plan. Yeah, well,
years ago I used to live in Chesham, and we used to go into Watford. We used to use the Met line to get into Watford, the tube, and we used to go we'll go into Watford tonight, lads. Yeah, okay. 10 o'clock, we're still in Chesham in the pub. I thought we were going to Watford. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Midnight, we're still in Cheshire. We never got to Watford.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've got Ian's Welding Models in saying good evening to all in chat. And then he also says, evening, Mark and Kev on the other side. So good evening, Ian.
Good evening, Ian.
And then we've got Scott Duggan, who says, good evening, all. Hope everyone is enjoying the bank holiday weekend. Well, the weather could be a bit better. I mean, I'm looking outside right now and it's absolutely chucking it down with rain.
It's grey sky here, very windy, but we haven't had lots of rain. We haven't had any, actually, I don't think. So, yeah, we've sort of missed it.
No, it's chucking it. I'm looking outside. It's absolutely chucking it down with rain. So
it's a typical bank holiday weather.
Of course.
It wouldn't be England if it didn't rain on a bank holiday. So
anyway, most people are going out tonight and they'll have hangover, so they won't need the weather.
No, that's right. You don't feel the cold.
Next in, we've got Amber M, who says, hi all, hope everyone is doing well. Good evening, Amber M. Welcome. Amber. And we've got Ian Campbell, who says, hi all. Hi, Ian. Welcome.
Hi, Ian.
And we've got some news at the end of the show. So, stick around for what's going to be happening next Sunday.
Next week. It's a big stream next.
Yeah.
Next, we might actually go over. So
we'll have to, Okay, next in we've got Will's Workshop, who says, good evening all on Mark's side, and a good evening to all side. Hit those likes. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Hi, Will.
Hi, Will. Welcome. We've got Kevin and Mary in who say, evening, everyone. Good evening, Kevin and Mary. Welcome.
Good evening, Kevin and Mary. Welcome.
And then we've got Steve Edmonds who says, hello, all. Hi, Steve. Welcome.
Hi, Steve.
And then we have Stephen Haynes Models who says, hi, Mark and Kev. So good evening, Stephen. Welcome.
Hi, Stephen. Welcome.
Oh, gosh, I haven't seen this person for a while. We've got David Bassett who says, evening, Kevin, Mark, and all in chat. Good evening, David. Welcome.
Hi, David. Welcome.
And Will's Workshop says, I bet a few aliens stroke mutants will be going for 100 plus on eBay.
I think come near the end of the build, I think a lot of people are going to be wanting them, and I did say this at the time. I've said it on the Facebook group that I think the web shop will sell out.
You know what though, $10.99, $11.99. I think that's quite good for something like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think that's very reasonable. I think you would, in a toy shop or a collector shop, pay way more for something like that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, and it's quite good. It's all sort of weathered. We've already had people saying that, because obviously it's got a hard bit of plastic here, so you can open it up, and so some people are going to put servos and lights in it, so you can see it sort of moving, like on the show.
That's one more reason not to watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, it sort of moves like that when he's like, breathes in and out and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely one more reason not to watch Doctor Who. But I think that's quite a reasonable price for something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It really is. Next, we've got Howard Dash Riptide who says, would you guys do a DS9 or a Death Star Partwork? Yes. Hands down.
Yeah. I think DS9 would be difficult, as in terms of like, sort of standing it and stuff.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be brilliant? They did a DS9 and they did like Thunderbird 2, the armaments. So instead of that, you got ships.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's possible. I think they could do DS9 and mount it so it's turns slowly, like in the show. And have a little Defiant that you could dock onto it. That would be quite cool.
Yeah. But hands down, Death Star, DS9. Yeah. I'd even do a Voyager.
Yeah. Definitely
do a Voyager. So yeah, definitely. There's the answer. Amber M says, I still have 10 boxes still left on Optimus Prime, but ET is almost done. 6 boxes left. It'll be my first finished build. There we go.
Oh wow.
Well done.
Yeah.
I remember my first finished build was the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. Yeah. I think they all didn't the original DeLorean, I think, finished around the same sort of time as well. And then we had R2D2 as well.
DeLorean started, and then shortly after DeLorean started, the R2D2 started.
Right. I couldn't remember. It was a long time ago now.
Yeah. But mine was the Millennium Falcon first finish. And I built that on a coffee table and on the floor.
Yeah.
None of this business, just raw materials.
Yeah, so that's how it all starts.
Will's Workshop says, build finishing soon for me. Skyline, Batmobile, Megazord, Mallard. I think that's it, but only committed to a single new build of the Supra, but looking forward to the Orca build. So yeah.
Yeah, the only new build I've picked up this year, I think it's the Dalek one. Everything else was last year. So my Megazord, I don't think I'm going to finish that this year because I'm on the 24-month option. So that's a build that won't finish for me this year, but it will next. So
yeah. Just depends how quickly now there's so many options of how you want to get it, unless you're with hard set, really, because they don't really do anything different, but so many options now. Howard says it's very interesting that Hachette or Agora haven't mentioned anything yet, and that's with the price increases.
Yes, yeah. I'll be keeping an eye on stuff because they could send out stuff soon, I would imagine.
It depends. I mean, it depends with Hachette. I think it depends on where they're getting their suppliers from.
Yes, it's a difficult one because it's with China. Most Partworks come from China anyway, but some do come from Europe. But he's now threatening to put 50% tariffs on Europe. So,
well,
yeah,
he's going to shoot himself in the foot.
Yes.
Howard also says, yes, damn it, IXO. I'd like to get more of the train from them. I hope we can get it soonish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did say they are looking into a supplier for the US, didn't they?
Yeah.
Other options. So just wait and see, unfortunately. Kevin and Mary say, is there any news when the Agora Bond cars are coming? Not a clue.
No. We've asked this question on the channel a few times, haven't we?
But
it does say 25. It does say this year. So
Wonderfest is coming up very, very shortly.
Yeah.
Will they be revealed at Wonderfest?
Maybe.
I'm wondering if that'll be the big reveal.
We do know there's 2 coming out. We do know it's this year because it said 25. But yeah, we asked this question a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? We were like, are they must be due, and then they announced the Orca.
Yeah.
And they still haven't announced. But like we said, they sort of quite wait a while, didn't they? So they sort of announce it, and then like 18 months later, it sort of comes out. So
I've got a sneaky suspicion that they may reveal them at Wonderfest, and then we'll see them pre-orders possibly. They do like to reveal these things at shows, so maybe that's what.
And then I would imagine they'll go on a pre-order and they'll be released towards the end of the year, maybe.
Yeah. No. David Hawley says, a very good evening, Kevin, Mark, and everyone. How are we all? I'm good, thank you. Welcome.
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, we're all good. Yeah.
Plodding along. Spice Brew says, someone had a go at the sprue puppet, even though there is a warning on the video. Very disappointing, but you can't please everyone. Well, it's more for them.
Yes.
It's more for them.
Yeah, I always, do you know what? It's one of those things where you put a warning up. You know, they do it. I watch Family Guy and American Dad, and every time it comes on, they go, "This might be language or scenes that offend and all this sort of stuff." I'm like, why is someone watching this? You know, if they're going to get offended like that, I don't understand.
Yeah,
you're not going to turn on American Dad or Family Guy or South Park or anything like that without knowing what it is, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think it's a case of it's your channel. Do whatever you want.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you do you. That's I've always said that.
Yeah.
When it comes to YouTube channels, you do you. Don't worry about anything else. You do you.
Will's Workshop says, I'll consider that trip, Mark. Easy hop over from Plymouth, LOL. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might look funny with passport control that every week you're going over to France for something.
Like I said, it might be cheaper.
Yeah. But it might look funny at passport control when they say, why are you going to France every week?
You say, why not?
Yeah, that's true.
Why not?
Howard says, I call it BS that Fan Home D'Agostini will reduce their prices after the tariffs been lifted.
They said in the message they will. Maybe they will. I don't know. We don't know how long they're going to last, these tariffs. So They might be in place long enough where if they do come down, the prices for material might increase anyway.
Well, the thing about it is, they're going to be in place for at least 4 years.
Yeah.
While Trump's in administration, while he's in the presidency. So they're going to be there in 4 years. I reckon after the 4 years, because he can't run again.
No. They have been messaging about that. They've been saying he can run for an up. They would have to change the constitution to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that somehow. I think there would be pushback if they did that. So, yeah.
End of the day, he can only run for 2 terms. So
yeah, that's it.
And everybody's abided by that for hundreds of years. So I'm sorry, I don't think he can run again.
No.
Steve Edmonds says you could always take the Eurostar. I think that is about 30 minutes each way. There we go. Go by train.
Yeah.
Go by train. I'm definitely. I need to move down south.
I would say the ferry's a lot more. I would say enjoyable more. If you've done both, if anyone's been on a train for longer than 30 minutes, you're bored shitless. I would say bored, absolutely bored. But on a boat, it's more entertaining. You've got the sea, you can look out, and you've got there's normally arcades and shops on there and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoy your little leisurely go over as well. Yeah, I think they should bring back the hovercraft. Now they obviously do the hovercraft for, I think it's the Isle of Wight, isn't it?
I'm not sure. I've never been to the Isle of Wight.
Right. Okay. Well, they used to have hovercraft. I think that went over to France and it stopped. I think they still do it, but I think it's only to the Isle of Wight. But they should bring it back because the hovercraft was really quick.
Yeah.
Smooth. It was an awesome thing.
Ian says, let's be honest, businesses will not reduce prices with tariff increases. If anything, they put price increases onto the consumer. Yeah.
That is how tariffs work. Despite what anybody else tells you, when they say our companies will absorb it, they will not. They will always pass it on. Yeah. That is why you want zero tariffs, really. So, but it is what it is.
It is. David Holly says, very impressed with the Toyota Supra so far. Looks good, and the colour is superb. It does look nice. I mean,
it looks really nice, yeah.
Yeah. Just watching other people do it.
That's
what I like about YouTube. You don't actually have to build the model to enjoy watching it being built.
No, that's right.
Spice Brew says 3 working days, then on holiday, so I can catch up on models. Well, that's a great way to spend a holiday.
Yeah,
definitely. Will's Workshop says, yeah, really quick this time. Next week, I'll have a 9-year-old. Can't believe next year he hits double digits. Yeah, I mean, mine's 22 this year, my eldest.
Yeah, Holly's 19 this year. Our eldest, and Soph will be 14, so they're creeping up.
My youngest will be 20, so
yeah.
They're they're not kids for long.
No, they are not. No.
Ian says there is a formula online about the perspective of time v age. Very interesting, but yes, older you are, the less time you have. Well, or it appears. Yeah. Will's Workshop says windy and sunny in Plymouth at the moment. Well, it stopped raining, but yeah, it's now wet outside. Spice Bruce says Father's Day in Germany on the 29th, also public holiday.
They should do it as a public holiday. Well, it's on a Sunday here, isn't it? It's always on a Sunday. Yeah. I think it's next month.
I always find Father's Day is not as big as Mother's Day.
No.
We've got Sprue and Glue in, who's waving his hand. So good evening, Sprue. Welcome.
Hi, Sprue.
I'm having to read these now.
Oh.
So, yeah. A model citizen says, anyone know what's up with Build with Boys and Penny's Pit Stop channels? Not a clue.
No.
Not a clue.
No, both of them haven't posted in quite some time.
No.
Maybe just be having a break, but yeah. we don't know. I don't know.
I've not a clue at all. Unless they put an update out, we don't know.
No.
David Bassett says, yes, Mark and Kev, I've been busy on Sundays recently. Even had a few seconds of fame on Pete and his bus latest video. LOL.
I did see that.
Having been ridden on RM1009 at the East Grindstead running day. Wow.
Yeah, I saw the latest video because obviously I watched Pete and his bus, and it broke down, and he was going to a show, and it was a bit chaos and stuff. But at the start of the video, he went to the running day, and David's on that. So
yeah, I'll have to look out for that.
The pictures right at the start.
David Hawley says, Voyager, yes, please. I'm a big fan. Would love that to come along. Yeah, me too.
That'd be nice.
Especially if the engines moved at the back as well.
Well, they would have to.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these things have to, but sometimes they never get done.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. But definitely, if the engine's moving at the back, definitely avoid. DS9 or avoid you, definitely. But then some people would argue original Enterprise.
Yes. Well, there's a lot now, isn't there? You got the you could have Discovery, you could have even stuff from Star Trek Picard as well. So the Enterprise G or F even, I wouldn't mind an F because it looks absolutely. I mean, that as a Partwork would be. Yeah. Enterprise E. There's loads of options.
Andy Carroll says, Kev, Matt, would you do the mothership from Close Encounters of the Third Kind if a Partwork was ever released? Yeah, I probably would.
I don't know on that one because a lot of it is. There's a lot of antennas, isn't there, in the sort of center part of it. But I'd have to see what it looked like in Partwork form before I sort of go with it.
Good film, though.
Yeah.
It's not one I've seen for a long time.
Yeah, I've got. I recently bought a special edition Blu-ray version, so it's got like all these different cuts on it. Because I didn't know that there was like a home release, which was different from the theatre release. And then they did like a director's cut as well.
Right.
There's like three or four different versions of the film.
My problem is I watch that film, I get the tune stuck in my head for days. And it's annoying. So yeah, that's the only problem.
What the communication noise?
Yeah. Yeah. I get that because I get it stuck in my head for days. Ian Campbell says, Alf Garnett, personally, I love the history of UK TV, but you ain't gotta watch it. No. Steve Edmonds says, the ferry is fun when it's windy. Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Kevin and Mary said, received my last pack and stand for the Lotus 97T yesterday. Wow.
Cool. Another one finished.
Yeah. Spice Brew says, in Germany, they don't censor the songs with rude words. I don't think they do that in Australia either.
They don't censor. Yeah, well. Oh, that's good. That's good because they do that in obviously in the UK. They do.
Yeah.
They censor the words. It just blanks out or goes back. It's quite annoying as well. Especially when you're listening. I mean, I listened to Kisstory in the car because that was my channel growing up, was Kiss. And there's a lot of songs that they used to play, like a lot of Eminem songs, where they don't put the swearing in. And it's sort of a bit annoying because it blanks part of the song.
What was it? Who was it? We've got it. It all goes to blame to the lady Mary Whitehouse, I think it was.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, who brought in the 9 o'clock watershed and the Padwang and the rules. Yeah, Mary Whitehead, I believe. Because there was a program that was on after 9 o'clock in the UK called the Mary Whitehouse Experience, where they threw all them rules out the window.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm going back 80s, I think, there.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll says, Trump trying to change the Constitution so he can run for 3 times. He is that way inclined. He crazy. Yeah. And Ian says they are ending that service, Kev, to the Isle of Wight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
We've got Mr. Fusion Designs in saying, hi, guys. Hi, Jason. Welcome.
Hi, Jason. Welcome.
Howard says, well, we talk about tariffs, but we bought an item for some people in Canada that cost $70, but the item came to them from Switzerland, so they had to pay an extra $30 to get it. Wow. Yeah, wow. That's a lot. Sparrow says my daughter will be 24 in August. Yeah, it just flies by.
Does it just I'm sorry, I'm sure it's the children. It's not, I don't think it's your age. I just think, well, I don't know, maybe it might be your age, you know?
Yeah. Scott Duggan says, I still really want a TMNT van. What is that?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ah, right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that for a long time. Will's Workshop, controversial. I think Voyager is the nicest ship in the fleet. She was nice and compact.
Ooh.
I think. I think what had going was nice and compact.
You know, well, I always go for the Enterprise D, but I think you tend to like the ship that you were brought up with.
Yeah.
So the Galaxy class ship for me is, I mean, it's not my favourite ship. I've got to say the Nebula class is my favourite ship. I love that. It's all sort of, it's the Galaxy ship, but all compact and looks, I do like the look of that. Yeah, Voyager's nice. It's just a much smaller vessel, isn't it? It's 15 decks. It's got, it's not very big compared to the Enterprise with 42.
Well, I think, what was it? Galaxy class was designed to go deeper into space and survive out there longer than the, I can't remember what class Voyager is.
Voyager's Intrepid.
Intrepid, that's it, class, yeah. But that was for smaller missions.
Yes, yeah. Normally the smaller ships are like for resurf, border control, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says, Will and 7 of 9 is the best crew member.
7 of 9. She definitely boosted ratings. I would definitely put that to her. And she's definitely one of those memorable characters that everyone remembers. I mean, so memorable they brought her back for Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
So, Will Wheaton.
Oh, Will Riker.
Ah, right, okay. Riker was my favourite when I was a kid and watching Next Gen.
Next Gen, my favourite was Crusher.
Wesley Crusher.
No, not Wesley Crusher.
Oh,
Beverly Crusher.
Beverly Crusher.
Yeah,
I like Riker.
I loved it in Picard when she set off all the torpedoes and phasers. That was so funny. Okay. Howard says, how about a dropship or an armored vehicle from Aliens as a partwork?
Yeah.
Could do that, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like the I don't know, is it the dropship, the one where it folds out? That would be quite a good one. It's like an Apache helicopter, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they've got the personnel carrier as well. That would be quite good, especially if they done the interior. Because the interior had the 2 pilot seats, you had the gunner, and then you had all the computers along the side, didn't they? So they could keep control of everything, and that'd be quite good.
Ian Campbell says, showing your age with Mary Whitehouse, Mark. Oh, I got the name right then. Yeah, I remember Mary Whitehouse. She brought in all these rules like the 9 o'clock watershed and stuff like that. So we've got
it's still in place now.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a little bit of it makes sense why they do it, but yeah.
Andy Carroll says it was a good ship, Venus. By Christ, you should have seen us. The figurehead was a. Hang on, I think he's carried on with Sex Pistols, frigging in the rigging. LOL. The 70s was fun.
Yeah.
Will's Workshop says life is like toilet paper. The closer to the end, the quicker it goes. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
And then Will says, I grew up with NGGLP, but still like Voyager.
Right.
Spiders Brew says Enterprise E for me, but I love First Contact. Yeah,
I think First Contact, the Wrath of Khan, and then First Contact are probably the two best movies they've ever done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They're up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like Generations though.
Generations is good. For me, it goes First Contact, Wrath of Khan, Undiscovered Country, because that was a really good one. Voyage Home was probably then after that. I didn't. A lot of people seem to like the motion picture, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Star Trek V is obviously the worst one out of them all. Insurrection was okay, but I didn't find it very good either.
Right. Is that the last one?
No, that's Nemesis. That's the Romulan ones. Yeah, the other one.
Is Insurrection that awful one where they have to transport an alien species?
Yes. Yeah. And they get younger, and then they find out that the species is them as well on the ship. The Soren. Soren. They're called. And
that was god awful.
Yeah, Insurrection.
Oh, that is one movie you watch once and you never watch it ever again.
Star Trek V was just as bad. I mean, that was awful, that one.
Yeah. That. Oh gosh, don't remind me of that film. That's like watching that's like watching The Last Jedi. And then you never watch it again because you think, oh, that is just god awful.
Yeah.
David Hawley says all the episodes with 7 in them are my favorites, and as for the Intrepid class, Voyager is my favorite. Also, lovely ship.
Yeah.
It was compact. That's what where the Enterprise D was vast.
Yes.
Voyager was more compact.
Yeah, more family because it was all close knit and yeah.
Howard says some people hate the Discovery ship a lot, like the Defiant. Yeah.
Oh, I love the Defiant. That was a ship that came in and kicked ass. That was proper.
I love it. I love it in First Contact when he says to Worf, "Tough little ship," and he's like, "Little."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not a tough little ship.
Yeah. Great.
I don't think Defiant Partwork would be good.
A Defiant would be brilliant. I just don't think it would have a lot of light. It's not got a lot of lights on it. Looks good. But I think in terms of like ship style, I think most people would probably go for the Enterprise A or the refit or the original one. I think they would do quite well actually, because I think a lot of people like the TOS Enterprise, the Constellation.
Just have to wait and see in case anything comes.
Yeah, I'm almost certain at some point I would imagine there'll be another Star Trek ship model, but we still haven't finished Enterprise D, a lot of us. So
no, that's true.
Let's finish that one and then I can start another one. Don't bring another one out and say that's finished.
Yeah. Dylan's Denim Model says, "Evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No problem.
No problem. You can always watch it back."
Yeah. Howard says, "Oh, come on, Kevin. Will Shatner got the God episode done that Gene Roddenberry couldn't."
Yeah. Yeah. Star Trek V was awful because I think it was directed by William Shatner as well.
Right.
It was
Is
just
that
awful.
the motion picture where they'll find God or something?
No, Star Trek 5 is where you get. I think it's Spock's brother. He kidnaps the Enterprise and takes it to the center of the universe, and that's where they meet God.
Okay, so it's not worth watching then.
The motion picture, that is the one with Vija. You remember, sort of, it takes over the lady. I've forgotten her name. And they find it, and it's just do you remember the Voyager probe? It's just that in the middle of it.
Right. Okay.
And it's like this thing that's taken it over. It's a lot of people actually like the motion picture, but I didn't find it very good.
Right. We've got Scottish Trekkie who says, "Hey guys, how are you both?" So
yeah, good. Hi, Scott. Welcome.
D says 15 minutes to go. Mark caught up on chat. LOL.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, we'll talk about next Sunday.
Yes, we have to talk about next Sunday. Yeah.
Right. I want to get caught up on chat and talk about next Sunday before everybody goes off.
Yes.
So, a couple of months ago, was it? Ian approached us about doing an auction for to sell off some of the things he's got left over from Partwork upgrades and everything. Next Sunday will be when that will happen. So it'll be same time, same place, same channels, but we will be doing Ian's online auction for him. And Ian is actually going to join us on stream as well while it goes on. So that's going to be real good fun. And we'll see how much we can get for these bits and pieces for him.
Yeah, there's go on.
Couple of things though. You must be able to pick them up from Leicester.
Yes. Yeah, you must be able to collect. There's going to be 3D printers, laminate cutting machine thing, and obviously loads of Partworks as well. Completed builds, I might add. So if there is a build that you were thinking about getting, or you haven't got, or it's gone, there might be one there that you want, and get it at a bargain price.
So we will be doing that next week for Ian. If anything does pop up Partworks wise, though, we will definitely be showing you at the beginning of the show. But next week. Does that mean I've got to buy a gavel?
Or maybe.
Oh no. I'm gonna have to
it might. Next week might run on, depending on how we do and everything else, and chat in and all that sort of stuff. Because we'll have to do. We'll still keep in the chat.
Yeah.
And we'll still keep in, doing looking at the chats as well. People are sending in, and like I said, we'll still keep it the same, but there'll be this added thing on which we'll do throughout the show. And it might just tally on a little bit, but that's all the fun and games of it. Yeah.
So save your pennies from the week, and you might be able to pick up yourself a great bargain next weekend.
Yes. There's quite a lot of Partworks on there, and I know that some people would want. And the last one we did for Wayne done really well, and we're hoping for the same with Ian as well. And like I said, there's a lot of other things on there like 3D printers and stuff like that. So bundle deals as well, and
fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, a bit more chats come in. Spider Through says Star Trek 5, row your boat.
Yeah.
Scottish Trekkie says, can I ask a question? I had sad news today about my XL USS Reliant broke today, but I want to make her into the US Lantry. Any tips on how to get the pylons flush to the saucer, please? Oh.
Difficult. Without just cutting them off and moving them up, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think the Lantry it just didn't have the roll bar, if I remember rightly. So you just have to cut the roll bar off, I would imagine. Let me pick it up, so I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, it just doesn't have the roll bar. So I would just cut it from where the saucer is. So it looks like that. But it's just the Reliant with no roll bar on the top. So I'd just cut the roll bar off, I would.
Okay.
How you would do that would be using, I don't know, is it die cast? You might have to get a little saw to just cut through it. But yeah.
Okay. Andy Carroll says Star Trek V has Uhura doing a fantastic dance. Doing a fantastic dance. Star Trek motion picture was written by Alan Dean Foster, who also wrote Alien and Splinter of the Mind's Eye and Aliens. Wow.
Yeah.
Howard says it's funny that some people hate the motion picture versus 2010 being too long, but they are very close to the same length. Yeah. Will's Workshop says, "Ooh, exciting." Yes. And he says, "I feel a trip to Leicester is in my future."
I feel so too.
Well, if I say some of the things might have been built by Wayne, there we go.
Yes.
Some of the things.
Yeah. I think there's a few builds on there, isn't there?
Yes, that might have been built by World of Wayne. So, yeah. D. Harris says, going, gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard says, I know some American guys going to Telford. Would they be able to pick it up then? Maybe we buy it and gift it to Wayne. Possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, possible. Kevin and Mary say, will there be a list of what's for sale? As I'm aware, if you keep an eye on the Partwork Upgrades Facebook group, there will be some information on there, and Ian is also going to be sending out some emails as well.
Yes, yeah, there'll be a list there and everything. Yeah, that's coming this week. So
yeah, okay. David Hollis says, going to say good night, guys, before we run out of time. Cracking stream again, guys, as always. See you both in the week on your respective vids. Thanks, guys. Thank you, David.
Cheers, David. Thank you.
And Will's Workshop says, I have Wayne's E-Type on my shelf.
Well, you could have some more. You could have some more. Yeah.
So there we go. Well, it's 5 to 8. And I think we've done all right.
Yeah, we've done all right. Yeah, considering we've had no information at the start or no new stuff has come out.
Yeah.
It's all gone a bit sort of quiet at the minute. Maybe that's the calm before the storm, as they say.
You'd have to see. But yeah. Anything you got coming up this week?
If stuff turns up, yeah. Obviously, I've got a Tumblr video, but we know what we're getting in that, so I don't know.
You got Dalek as well, haven't you?
Yes, I've got a Dalek. Yeah, it's for the next. I would say for the next 20 odd issues, it's not very exciting. We're building the inside section. We've got some more Snoopy, so I think we're going to be doing some more Snoopy build this week. And if anything else turns up, we're waiting for quite a few bits. So
myself, we're back to normal programming. So I've caught up on the U96, and so yeah, it'll be just the video per day as usual.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Dave McBuild says, another great stream tonight, guys. Thank you, Dave Mark.
Good, Dave.
D. Harris says, and the customary good night, Mark and Kev, until next week, and good night, chatters. Kev, see you tomorrow night.
Yes.
And Spice Crew says, good night, all. Great stream, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ian's World of Model says, great stream, guys. Look forward to next week. Very interesting. Yes, it is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And Kevin and Mary say good night, all. So I think I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming along, as always, and your fantastic chat. We're really looking forward to next week. I'll just get this last bit of chat in. We've got Go For It Painting, who says hello.
Hello.
Andy Carroll says, thanks again, guys. Great stream. Keep safe. See you next week.
See you later, Andy.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be a good night.
Yes, definitely. So just leaves me to say, I've been Mark.
And I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all next week, guys.
See you later, guys.
All.
Bye all.